Dodgers walk it off 3-1. Chris Taylor playing the role of hero with one of the biggest home runs of his life, sending the Dodgers to the NLDS. Again, they're going to face the San Francisco Giants starting on Friday, and this will be the first time the Giants and Dodgers meet in the postseason. Believe it or not, they were separated by one game in the regular season. Giants won the division. Dodgers had to play in the wild card game. They survive and advance thanks to Chris Taylor's walk-off heroics in the bottom of the ninth. So the Dodgers advance to the NLDS thanks to Chris Taylor. Two-run homer in the bottom of the ninth inning. It was historic. And anything at this point is going to be historic for a guy like Chris Taylor, right? Again, only Dodgers with walk-off homers in the postseason. It's Kirk Gibson, Justin Turner, Max Muncy, and now Chris Taylor. As Chris Taylor comes on in the seventh inning for defensive purposes, replacing A.J. Pollock. And give it up for the bullpen. Incredible. 5 relievers combined for 4 2/3 as they pick up the slack for Max Scherzer, who goes just 4 1/3. And it's 4 2/3 of scoreless baseball, 2 hits, 6 strikeouts as they get it done. Kenley Jansen with a great appearance in this game. He gets 3 strikeouts in the top of the ninth to give his team a chance for victory in the home half of the ninth. And it's Chris Taylor sending the hometown fans home happy. Get some instant analysis. Welcome in former MLB Executive of the Year and CBS Sports Baseball insider Jim Bowden. Jim, what a game. Wild indeed. Your reaction to what went down at Dodger Stadium.
It was an epic game, and I'll call it the greatest wild card game since the wild card era started. That's what we saw tonight. We had drama from the very beginning of the game with the pitching matchup of Max Scherzer, a future Hall of Famer, and Adam Wainwright, one of the greatest starting pitchers in Cardinal history, going at each other. But it's 2021, so we're not going to expect them to pitch 6, 7, or 8 innings. No, we expect early exits, and they both got early exits. Neither guy was able to complete 5 innings. Neither one was able to get to 100 pitches. They were both in their 90s in pitches when they left the game in a 1-1 tie, and then it became a bullpen game. And the big difference was the Dodgers bullpen was bigger, badder, and deeper than the Cardinals. They basically run out their 4 closers, one after another, that absolutely shut down the Cardinals with different looks, with different arm angles, with different velocities, with different breaking balls. It was an absolute clinic on how to build a bullpen and how to dominate the opponent. Max Scherzer didn't want to come out of the game. Adam Wainwright didn't want to come out of the game. But both managers in 2021 follow the analytics, made the right decisions. But at the end of the day, the Los Angeles Dodgers won it in the bottom of the ninth. How'd they do it? All year long, Cody Bellinger's hit under 200. One of the big disappointments. What does he do? Gets on base, steals 2 bases in this game, including that big one in the ninth inning. And Chris Taylor, who is in a huge slump to end the year, the slump was so bad that he didn't even start this game, hits the walk-off homer. You want to talk about mama drama? We had it at Chavez Ravine tonight. Yeah, we had drama, especially when Max Scherzer is being lifted from the game. You know he doesn't want to come out of the game. He probably wanted to say to Dave Roberts, go sit your you-know-what down. I'm going to finish this inning. And he doesn't. He even talks to him in between innings when he comes out of the game. He says, you're going to take me out of the game in this spot. And at this point, you know this decision could backfire. Go one of 2 ways for Dave Roberts. The Cardinals either open up a can on the bullpen or the Dodgers bullpen shuts it down, and it was the latter as Joe Kelly comes up in a big spot and gets a strikeout, striking out Dylan Carlson to end the inning. I mean, goodness gracious, Jim, what a job managing by Dave Roberts on this night with the bullpen. Again, 4 2/3 of scoreless baseball. Well, that's a great point. And I think the other thing is you got to look at the fact that Max Scherzer had 4 walks. He hadn't even had 3 walks in a start since he joined the Dodgers at the end of July. So he didn't have control and command like Max normally does. He had the results, but he never really got the arm slot going. I thought he kind of did just as he was leaving the game. When he got to 90 pitches, I thought he finally was finding his slot. But look, Dave Roberts all year has succeeded using the bullpen. And Joe Kelly, 20 inherited runners, only 2 had scored all year. So the numbers looked really good there. I thought it made a lot of sense at the time. And then you saw Gratterall dominate. You saw Knebel dominate. I mean, it was just one closer after another. And you saw Kenley Jansen, a much different Kenley Jansen than we've seen in the postseason for the Dodgers the last several years, because he's got different stuff. He struck out Paul Goldschmidt on that breaking ball and just buckled him, and all Goldie did was walk back to the dugout, tip his cap. What are you going to do? And then he was able to get the strikeout, of course, of O'Neill, that fastball up on the zone, challenging him to finish off that ninth inning. But 3 strikeouts in the ninth inning with a winning run at second base. Great job in that ninth by Kenley Jansen. But this Dodger team is just, they've been there, they've done it, they know how to win games. You saw Turner get that hanging breaking ball from Waino, hit it out of the ballpark to tie the game, to be able to put it to this point. But I thought the other great element for the sport of baseball tonight, Akeem, was seeing Juan Soto of the Washington Nationals sitting in the stands with his agent Scott Boras wearing a Trey Turner Washington National jersey and supporting him. When the game ended, Max Scherzer went over there, as did Trey Turner, to give a high 10 to Soto and thank him for coming to the game. But only in Major League Baseball do you see something like this happen. And now we get excited, Akeem. Why? Because the first time in baseball history, one of the greatest rivalries, the Dodgers and Giants, will be playing in a postseason series. We have never seen that in the history of baseball. This is going to be so dramatic. The 2 most winningest teams in 2021 playing each other in a 5-game series. I don't know about your heartbeat. I don't know how you're sweating. I don't know how your palms are right now, but this is going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to that. Game 1 of that series is on Friday in San Francisco. But before we get to that, throughout the game, you're probably sitting there going, okay, let me think about the storylines here. Nolan Arenado up in a big spot. Could he endear himself even more to St. Louis? Strikes out. You bring in Paul DeJong for defensive purposes, who's been in a slump all season, loses his starting job to Edmundo Sousa, goes up on the ladder, ends the inning with a great defensive grab, starts the top of the ninth, strikes out. You're looking for all these storylines. Albert Pujols coming up in the bottom of the ninth as the first batter. Drive deep to center, fails to hit a home run. And then it's Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor, who's the unlikely hero who comes on in the 7th and walks it off, Jim. I mean, it's just incredible stuff.
Yeah, it really is. And, it could have gone the other way, too. I mean, Tommy Edman had an unbelievable game on the other side for the Cardinals. He had a big stolen base. He had multiple hits. He made an unbelievable play to his right. How about the play that Paul Goldschmidt made on that Luis Garcia throw on that ball that A.J. Pollock hit? There's not a lot of first basemen that could have caught that ball and brought it back like he did without running into the runner and possibly dropping the ball on that particular play. We saw a lot of great defensive plays by the St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, they're one of the best defensive teams in the game. We had every single element that you could ask for in a game like this. You had Mookie Betts making that great catch in right field, going to the stands early in the game. I mean, that was a huge play right there. The jump and angle he got on that ball. So, as you point out, a lot of different storylines. The first inning started, Sosa misplayed 2 balls to start the game. Obviously nervous his first postseason game. How about Will Smith letting that wild pitch get by him, letting that first run score for the St. Louis Cardinals on the other side of things? So we did have a lot of different storylines. We had good defense, a little bit of bad defense, but at the end of the day, it was a battle of the bullpens for me. And at the end of the day, the Dodgers showed you why they can take Max Scherzer out in that 5th inning. They showed you how good that pen is. It was built for October, and you saw that tonight, and that was huge, and that's something I'm sure the San Francisco Giants are not looking forward to facing starting on Friday.
Yeah, Cardinals were 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position, a far cry from what they did in September when they had the magical run when they won 17 in a row. Heck of a season for the St. Louis Cardinals. All season long, we sat here and said, this St. Louis Cardinals team is underachieving. They have all this talent. They have all this defensive ability behind the starting pitching. Bullpen a little bit shaky, but the firepower in this roster is incredible with Arenado, Tyler O'Neill, Paul Goldschmidt, and they come up short in the wild card game. What a season. What's next for St. Louis? I know Arenado wants to stay in St. Louis for a long time.
Yeah, Arenado's already announced that he's not going to opt out, so they don't have to worry about that. So what they have to look at now, they've got 5 pitchers that are free agents, most of them the older pitchers, John Lester, Jay Happ, Carlos Martinez, Andrew Miller, and Luis Garcia, the reliever. I think Garcia is going to be the one they're going to prioritize to bring back. They may say goodbye to the other four. And when they do that, they've got a hole in their rotation. And I would think that John Mozeliak and Bill DeWitt and the organization will look to try to add some starting pitching either in free agency or through trades. But that's going to be one area they're going to have to concentrate. And also, in my opinion, I think they should search for one of these free agent shortstops. Look, I like Sosa defensively. You know, DeYoung had an up and down year. But if you could put Corey Seager on this team, he's a free agent, or Carlos Correa, or Javier Baez, or Marcus Semien, if you could get one of those guys to play shortstop, I think that would really solidify the position player for the Cardinals. But the first priority's got to be the starting pitching, add some more depth to the bullpen, and for me, a shortstop. And those are probably the biggest goals the Cardinals will have this winter.
Well, it was a heck of a season for the St. Louis Cardinals, highlighted by a 17-game winning streak, which was absolutely impressive. As for what's next for the Dodgers, starting Friday, Giants, Dodgers, first time ever in the postseason. Walker Buehler, Logan Webb in San Francisco, separated by one game in the standings as the Giants win the division for the first time since 2012. Last time that happened, they went on to win the World Series, now facing the reigning World Series champion Dodgers. I mean, this could be the NLCS.
Well, it absolutely could be. It's a 5-game series. Now, remember this. Since July 15th, they're separated by one game. Giants are one game better, and they were one game better at the end of the year. So 107 to 106 wins. These two teams are really evenly matched. This is probably the best postseason matchup that we've ever seen. To see a rivalry of these two clubs, 107 wins and 106 wins going at each other, the two most wins in the sport. It's something you don't see, and it is going to be so much fun because they're so evenly matched. I would guess we're going to get a 5-game series here. It is going to be incredible. It's going to be epic.
Giants won 10 of the 19 meetings. I mean, it was about as even as it gets in the regular season. 1-game difference, which forced the Dodgers to play in the NL wildcard game, a game they win on this night thanks to Chris Taylor, walk-off heroics. Jim Bowden breaking down for us here on CBS Sports HQ. Jim, thanks. Playoff baseball just getting started, my friend.
Sure is.
And here is a look at the bracket. We are set. All the wild card winners have moved on. It'll be Red Sox and Rays getting started on Thursday. White Sox and Astros, the first game of the day on Thursday. And now the NLDS is set. Braves and Brewers and the Giants and Dodgers meeting for the first time ever in postseason baseball history.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.